I studied in a university called TUKE, Technical University of Košice. It was really nice. We were some of the early, let's say, expats there. So it was a very beautiful environment. My university had tie-up with Skoda. So Skoda was supplying engine, Skoda was supplying us suspension components. So we were working on real equipments from Skoda with the support of Skoda engineers and then fitting into the cars which we are building. The entire country is so beautiful. Once you get chances to live here, there's a lot of things to explore outside Prague also. Such a beautiful country by itself. 2 years of education was beautiful. It was completely different than what we were used to doing in India. After studying 4 years in India, this was completely an eye-opener. It felt like we had some new wings. So that led to a lot of internships, a lot of practices in industries, because of which I was able to get in contact with multiple companies, even when I was studying in the university. So that's how I ended up in TUKE, a company called TUKE, which makes car door locks and actuators. I had an internship offer and a job offer from them even before I finished my final year in masters. I worked there for almost 3 years. It was a beautiful experience, learned a lot of things, and then currently I'm working for a company called Valeo and working on automotive ECUs and zone controllers. The professors are highly knowledgeable. First, second thing, they are open. They have a dedicated office and they are sitting, even though the university is not 9 to 5, the professors are there 9 to 5. They are willing to answer all your questions. And if you have further doubts, there's a lot of laboratories and a lot of equipments. In Europe, there is so much of sponsored equipment from all the universities. There's so much of financial support done to the universities. So they have equipments which you can't even imagine of. And these labs are always open. When I came to Europe, it was totally different. First thing which hit me was like, there is a lot of papers, like a lot of subjects, and it is your choice to pick when and how you want to study. And then when you pick and decide, okay, this is the topics I'm going to study, then the professors will give you exact classes on your interest. Internships, it's like, it was part of the curriculum itself here. Like whenever we are doing some subjects, they try to bring in some special people from the industry itself. So even right from first semester, we were getting to talk with a lot of people who are working in the industries as such. After our second semester, there was a mandatory subject, like one paper, we have to complete that paper going to an industry. So the entire curriculum is designed so that you spend less time in classrooms and more time in lab or in the factory setting itself. I was paying like 3,500 euros, around like 3,20,000 per year for my tuition. And my monthly living expense was like almost 200 euros for the university, like 18,000 for the university accommodation dormitory, and another 20,000 for the food and living expenses.
Hello everybody, welcome all of you. My name is Shivaraman, Director of Europe Study Center. We have been contacting all our students that we had sent and asking them to do an interview for us to motivate the young minds as well as the parents. In the continuation of the same ideology, today we have Shiva with us, who studied in Slovakia and currently working in Czech Republic. Shiva, welcome to the show, Shiva.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, and it's great hosting you. And thanks for accepting our request to do this interview. Shiva, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Shiva Kumar. I did my schooling in Pondicherry, and then I went to Chennai to pursue my bachelor's in automobile engineering in Satyabama University. And after finishing my university in Satyabama, I was left with multiple options, either to start working in some industries in India or pursue some higher education. So when looking at higher education, the opportunities were wide open doing education in Europe rather than in India. So I was looking for all the universities in Europe. There were a lot of options, and it's not easy just being in India, applying to multiple universities. So back then I reached out to ESC. So they gave me a lot of suggestions, a lot of options, which is good, which is not good. And eventually I figured out, shortlisted some of the universities with the help of some consultants there, and ended up in Slovakia. I studied in a university called TUKE, Technical University of Košice. It was really nice. We were some of the early, let's say, expats there. So it was a very beautiful environment, and we had a lot of difficulties getting there with the visas and things like this. And ESC was like really helpful with all the visa process for us. And 2 years of education was beautiful. It was completely different than what we were used to doing in India. After studying 4 years in India, this was completely an eye-opener. It felt like we had some new wings where we can learn a lot of things practically. People are always approachable, a lot of wide open things that we can work on. So that led to a lot of internships, a lot of practices in industries, because of which I was able to get in contact with multiple companies, even when I was studying in the university. So that's how I ended up in TUKE, a company called TUKE, which makes car door locks and actuators. I had an internship offer and a job offer from them even before I finished my final year in masters. So because of that, even during my third semester, I had all the opportunities in TUKE. So my entire curriculum was modified by the university so that I get straight into the company and start working for them right away. So, and then I went to TUKE. I worked there for almost 3 years. It was a beautiful experience, learned a lot of things. And then currently I'm working for a company called Valeo, where we are making a lot of, the portfolio is huge. So I'm working on.
It's in Czech Republic. Currently you are in Czech.
Yeah, currently I'm in Czech. TUKE was also in Czech. It was a small town called Pardubice. That's where TUKE was. I worked there for 3 years. And now I moved to the capital, Prague, where I'm working for Valeo and working on automotive ECUs and zone controllers.
Excellent. So, Shiva, one decision kind of changed everything, right?
That's true.
Now the value, the aura of European education, how they look at it, and look at your journey right now. It's almost like 6-7 years before you made this decision. Okay, let me fly. Explore and study. Yes, exactly. Correct. Right? Because Shiva, especially when we do a core engineering subject in India, okay, need to top it up with a master degree in a top public university outside of India. Otherwise, to dig deeper into the core industry, it's difficult. Let's be very clear on this particular parameter. And then sitting and blaming, chemical is not good, civil is not good, or ECE is not good, or mechanical is not good, I feel it's of logicless. Do you agree so?
Yeah, very much. Like people say, like this industry has more scope, this industry has less scope, but it is not like that. Every industry has some job opportunities. As long as you're following your passion, developing your skills on what you're liking, then there is always demand for you.
Wonderful. It's so looking back,
you're the right place.
Yeah, looking back, you are really happy
very much,
that you choose Europe as your study destination, right?
Definitely, yes.
Wonderful. So once you decided, what moment you decided, Shiva, I think I should do my master's, which made you to take the decision?
No, the option was always there because considering the situations in India, I don't know how it is right now, but back then, people really love mechanical or really love civil. They do this course and then they end up in an IT job, which was not okay for me. And industries back then in India was not quite a lot. So the opportunities you get was very basic. You go as a production line person or something, and you don't get to learn or develop from there, or the process is very long. So that's when I decided, okay, let's develop our skills. Let's do a master degree. And when doing a master degree in India, there's only two things. Either you go to same universities or some small universities where you learn nothing, or you go to the topmost institutes like Pilani or IIT. If you're not going to do it in Pilani or IIT, then doing in other universities will not give you any skills whatsoever.
Exactly.
Sorry for the hard truth, but that's how it is.
That's reality. See, there is no problem in telling the truth. That is why we run these shows, and we are not against anything. But fundamental ideology is only when the university is not looking at our parents' money, they can give you high quality education. When they are looking at our parents' money, forget about quality education. That becomes a joke. That's it. And I would like to differ one point, Shiva. The institutions that you said, IITs or NITs, for example, at UG level is okay. But when it comes to the PG level, we need to explore the world, right? We need to travel. We need to pick up bags and, do it. And when European countries give it at a very affordable cost, we should be able to grab it with both of our hands. And thanks for being pinpointed. Because nowadays, everybody is so desperate to find solutions, Shiva, without understanding what exactly is the problem. So desperate to find solutions. Enna prachanane we don't understand. That's why I decided, okay, let me do this. At least 100 interviews with my students. Wonderful. So then how did you find Europe Study Center?
It was wide open. Like there is a lot of consultancies who's giving you some job offers in Europe or like helping you with all the visa processes or whatever it is. We talk to a lot of students. Like we don't end up in a company right away asking them for help. So back then I was asking a lot of people who used ESC, and I really felt like they are having a good success rate. And
Thank you.
especially the process was nice because they are not forcing you. They don't have tie up with some universities and force you to those universities.
Never.
For example, if I'm not wrong, I was with one person called Anita, and I had a lot of sessions with her. She was always open. She suggested me like few universities, and then I go do my research. I apply for some universities. I come back to her and say, "Come on, Anita. Okay, you suggested me this, well and good, but I like this. Can you try this?" And they were offering me all the options. They were doing the balancing for me, giving me the pluses and negatives. So I was very happy with that process. I didn't end up in ESC right away. I did ESC and few more other organizations which are doing the same. And then I felt like ESC is more trustworthy with the visa process.
That is how it has to be, right? We have to be inclusive with your thought process, with your ideas, because at the end of the day, it's your life. We are passing clothes. We come and go. So it has to be.
That's what I would like everyone to do the same. Like just because there is an advertisement somewhere, you see a YouTube video, just don't go put your money there.
Exactly.
Try for yourself. Everybody is open for some information. Get all the information, and then when you decide you're okay with it, go for it.
Exactly. And I saw a few videos, in between these interview breaks. There was a guy making a video. You study in UK, you can earn so much. You study in Germany, you can earn so much. It's so rubbish, right? I've been in this industry for 16 years. Never ever. I have made a video. Oh my, you study in this country, you're going to make so much money. It's utter rubbish, right? The money that you earn will.
I might add a small example. Like it's common human mentality. I traveled to UK recently, like somewhere in December. I was there for one whole month. I was with family and I saw people who were there for 30, 35 years. Everybody is settled. Everybody is making insane money. And when I came back to Prague, I thought, okay, UK is the best option. Like I need to move to UK. Life is beautiful there, wonderful there. And then I again traveled there to April. I got to talk to a lot of university grads who came out and some people who are just 2 or 3 years in UK. And then when I listened to their struggle and how much they are suffering, I think life is better here. So even for me, the perspective was different on the first attempt, and the second attempt, it was not. So money.
Excellent. That is why, Shiva, I can proudly say, because you brought up this topic, I have not sent a single soul to UK for the purpose of making money. Never. In my 16 years. And UK, you know what they call in abroad education industry? Instant noodles. 1 day offer letter, 10-day visa, 2 lakh commission. Super, right? Very easy. Find some 50 students, dump them somewhere, 1 CR in your account.
Oh my God.
This doesn't work like that. No, this is what is abroad education industry. Dumping students into places. And they claim blah, blah, blah. And my ideology is very simple. Go to that country's premier public university. For example, you studied in the number 2 university in that country.
Yes.
It opens up a lot of avenues for you when you study in that country's premier university rather than that country's chota mota university or private universities. We might as well study in Chennai, right? Why go abroad?
That's true.
Wonderful. Excellent. So then you said in your introduction, you were like open to a new arena of learning. So how was your first semester? Compare it with back home in India and with your studies of first semester in Slovakia.
Okay, even in India, I was trying to be all proactive. I wanted to be less on classrooms and do more outside classrooms. But the opportunities was always locked because the professors were demanding us to have attendances. The marks is the only thing which is talking to them. Even if I want to go to some competitions like Baja or national kart racings, either the university will not support you financially or they will not even give you the permission to go to some Delhi or Noida, wherever the event is happening. So we were always locked and constrained to the books, to the exams and curriculums. But when I came to Europe, it was totally different. First thing which hit me was like, there is a lot of papers, like a lot of subjects, and it is your choice to pick when and how you want to study. And then when you pick and decide, okay, this is the topics I'm going to study, then the professors will give you exact classes on your interest, not on what the curriculum is. So it's like, let's say if there is 10 subjects and 4 subjects is interesting for you and the 6th is not, you can pick this 4, and only with these 4 subjects you can go for that semestral exam. So this way you just learn what you're interested in. And second thing is like, it gives you a lot of time. So we were not going to the class 5 days a day, 5 days a week, or 8 hours a day. So classes are scheduled like 3 days a week or 4 days a week, and you can have like you can have 8 hours a day or even 2 hours a day, depending upon your planning. So which means more time for all the things you like, and a lot of hobbies, lot of things which you can involve yourself.
That is how it has to be, right, Shiva? That is how it has to be.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And sitting and studying, writing record notes, wearing ID card, and all. Why?
It was too concerned. We felt completely let out. We felt completely free. And I'm listing out the differences. This is one difference which I saw. Second difference is exams. There is no proper written exams in Europe at all. So the professor and you agree how you want to take the exam. The exams can be assignments, the exams can be projects. And even if you're writing an exam, the maximum I have written an exam in Europe is 1 A4 sheet. That's it. The exam can be finished in 10 minutes. It can take 30 minutes, but not more than that. They'll assist you throughout the semester, not on one day. On one day, it doesn't give you the exact overview of what you learned and what you studied. So that was completely different for me. And finally, the amount of support and funding you get from the university.
Yes.
When I was doing my bachelor's, carbon fiber was something unachievable. You can't even see carbon fiber components. But when I came to Europe, they let me do participate in a Shell Eco Marathon competition, and they showed me how to prepare a carbon fiber mold. They gave me all the equipments, and I was able to prepare some carbon fiber components by my own hand. That one component will cost like 70,000 rupees. But even though if it is going to waste, they don't care. You learn. And finally, they design and the funding is close to, if you convert it into Indian money back in 2017, the funding for the project was almost 4 crores, and the university was supporting it. And we were learning from it.
Exactly, right. Once you start looking at the money, what you save, what I collect from the student, forget about the quality education or forget about the practical exposure. Imagine, it's not even a fraction of the tuition fees that we pay to the university.
Exactly.
Okay, and they are ready to spend. This is where I feel, today also I met a parent, his son is studying in the 11th grade. He asked me finally, sir, tell me one particular point which is the most important factor. I said, study in institutions which is non-commercial. Sir, he asked me, what is non-commercial? Where the purpose is only quality education. Everything else is secondary. Study in institutions like that. And without your permission, I can say, Shiva, I think if you are given a time machine, you would have done your bachelor's itself in Europe, right?
I would say I wouldn't do that, because I saw a lot of bachelor students who come here without any idea. And then they don't know what to do. They are very immature to start in a European country without their parents. This is from my personal experiences in university. I would always recommend bachelors to be done in India. They know what are all the hardships they are going through. And when they come for masters, then they'll realize how valuable these things are.
Shiva, the problem here is 90% after studying in India, bachelors, hate education. It's done. They don't.
It depends upon the students. It depends upon the student. I have some juniors who did really good job, who worked alongside with me, tried to grasp a lot of knowledge from bachelors, and then they went on to do some MBA in UK or somewhere else, and they're really good. At the same time, there were some students who came here who got exposed to all the bad things and went completely in a wrong way. So it depends upon the person.
That's the same in Chennai also, right? That's the same in Chennai everywhere. So, bachelors or masters, as long as you are focused and motivated. And I feel 18 years is the right time, for the kid to understand which is good and which is bad. That's how it is. Wonderful. So when it comes to the first semester, you had to make any changes in your learning pattern so that you could be successful in your first semester, because it's a two different education system back home in India compared to Europe.
I would say it was a lot easier for me because there was no pressure. The staffs were really helping us. Because when we were struggling, they were supporting us very much. They are telling us, okay, this is how things work. There was proper explanations, and it was kind of a cakewalk. I wouldn't say there's any problem with the integration.
Since you are like completely
it's just that you need to be very open. You are coming to a very different country. You need to understand like things are not going to be the same or as comfortable as you're in home. You need to learn to cook. You need to learn to maintain yourself, everything financially, your day-to-day activities. Once you figure that out, education and university, it's not going to cause you any problems. That's it.
Excellent. So one more time, what was your title of your master program that you studied in TUKE?
I did like automotive production.
Automotive production. And also, I have always been telling all my students, you may have a 100-acre campus, hundreds of buses, canteens or libraries or equipments, whatever it is, but without qualified, dedicated, committed professors, it's like operation success and patient no more, right? So how would you value the support given by the professors to your success in your career?
Okay, first of all, the professors are highly knowledgeable. First,
yes.
Second thing, they are open. They have a dedicated office, and they are sitting. Even though the university is not 9 to 5, the professors are there 9 to 5. They are willing to answer all your questions. And if you have further doubts, there's a lot of laboratories and a lot of equipments. I have experience in some universities in India where they will have a car sponsored by some Ford or something, and they'll have it as a showpiece. This car will come out only when there is admission in the university. And then when the students have to practice, the car is like off limits for the students. But here in Europe, there is so much of sponsored equipment from all the universities. There's so much of financial support done to the universities. So they have equipments which you can't even imagine of. Wow. And these labs are always open for you. If I just go walk to my professor and say, sir, we call by their names here. So we just go say, Martin, I just want to learn this and I want to try this equipment. Let's say an extraction equipment where you just measure the tensile strength of a material. And that equipment is very expensive. Even without supervision, they'll just ask us if you know how to handle it, you can use the equipment as long as you want. Even though the materials are expensive, they'll give us materials, they'll show us how to do, and then they'll let us play with it. So these kind of supports was really good.
Amazing, right? Back home somebody studying in India, all these things would be like, super surprising and interesting for him, for sure.
Sure, for sure.
And this is how education should be. That's why I don't promote UK or Ireland or, any other things, all these one-year degrees. Proper, Schengen countries, public universities are always rich when it comes to the learning aspect, and they don't care about the money, they are ready to spend. Innovation.
That's true.
People may think, okay, they're spending so much, how will they get back? They innovate a product and market it worldwide and make millions and trillions, it's not a big thing for them. Excellent.
It's nothing actually for them, because like students develop some things, the university supports it. The university gets proper backing financially from the, let's say, European Union or the government whatsoever. And if this technology is success, it's money, income generated for the student and for the university also. Exactly. Just to give you an example, there was a flying car in Slovakia, which was a proper flying car, not any gimmicks. And this flying car technology was supported by TUKE students. So the same university which I'm coming from. So the development was completely done by faculty of mechanical students. The car was promoted. It was done in collaboration with a private company. So whatever money coming inside the company, it's also going to the university, to the students, and everywhere.
That's how the university should function, right? Government should bring in the money, and the industries also pull in the money, and only a small fraction of the money is paid as tuition fees from the student. This is how the university should function. If Shiva's father alone pays 100% of all the budget required to run the university, it's only a paper degree.
Yes.
Don't you think so? Correct, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Because the money should come from both other quarters, meaning from the government as well as from the industries. And this is how universities need to function. Yes. Since they had all the support system, professors, and laboratory. So your time at the university was really enjoyable, right? You had a very relaxed,
Very much.
I had a very relaxed, very fun time. Correct?
Very, very much, yes.
Excellent.
Like amazing. I really enjoy going to the university, even if there is some vacations or something. We prefer that we go to the laboratories because we can get some experiences. There will be always students working there. As a full-timer on some projects, there will be some Shell Eco Marathon car building up, some Formula One cars building up. So there will be multiple teams. You have an option either to be part of one team or just be a support system and help anyone who's requesting for support. So one day you can be doing some carbon fiber components for Shell Eco Marathon. Second day you can be working on an engine for an F1 car. And these are not small components. Like my university had tie-up with Skoda. So Skoda was supplying engine, Skoda was supplying us suspension components. So we were working on real equipments from Skoda with the support of Skoda engineers and then fitting into the cars which we are building.
So especially for an automobile enthusiast like you, it's like dream come true, right? Your university having association with Skoda.
Yes.
That's what, some people without any basic fundamental understanding, comment something about the countries that I promote. I said, boss, with a humble way, I would like to say, do the research, come and comment. If, if somebody doesn't know about all these countries, it is their work to sit and study and then take a call. Rather than being in a mindset, everybody is going to only UK, US, Australia, Canada, only that is good. This is how things work in India. Then I used to say, a country like Slovakia, or Czech, or any Hungary or any country hardly takes 100, 200, 300 students only per year from India, maximum. For example, Slovakia, nothing more than 200 in a year. Whereas you look at one university in UK recruiting thousands of students from India, one university. So it's a whole lot of difference where you focus between quality and quantity. And I also told those people, these countries will never be famous because the number of students going is only in triple digit.
Yes.
Not in lakhs. So super, because we need to focus on the quality, which is our prime importance. So then now, when did you all start applying for internships and when did you start doing your internships? Kindly talk about that.
Internships, it was part of the curriculum itself here. Like whenever we are doing some subjects, they try to bring in some special people from the industry itself. So even right from first semester, we were getting to talk with a lot of people who are working in the industries as such. After our second semester, there was a mandatory subject, like one paper, we have to complete that paper going to an industry.
Okay.
So the entire curriculum is designed so that you spend less time in classrooms and more time in lab or in the factory settings itself. Especially to mention, third semester, I had a very beautiful opportunity. So there was a competition done by Skoda where you have to design an alloy wheel for Skoda. And after designing the alloy wheel, they handpicked around 20 students from entire Slovakia. And this was an all-sponsored trip. Like right from the time I left the university, they took us in a bus to Mlada Boleslav, which is the Skoda's headquarters. We had a complete tour of the Skoda factory. And then we presented our project in front of delegates from Skoda itself. And then on the way back, we were taken to multiple industries in Czech Republic. So let's say Akido is a designing company, one of a company which makes aircrafts. So on that 4-day trip, we visited at least 10 companies which were producing different engineering components. We had a visit, we presented in Skoda, and then we came back to our university. It was complete 4 days, transport, food, and accommodation, all sponsored by Skoda. So these kind of opportunities we have there.
It's out of the world experience, right? To expose all these things, and somebody is funding it. It's even more amazing. And it makes it interesting. It makes it interesting.
It's just like you have to do things at the right time. Like this opportunity is wide open. Just because you sign up for the university, you don't get to do these things. You'll have to keep monitoring yourself. Okay, where are the opportunities? How I'm going to grab it? Unless and until you put those efforts, these are just in papers. You have to put all the efforts you can, and you can take the fruit out of it.
Exactly. Because I even stopped, 5-6 years before, I stopped telling what are all the benefits that the students will get if they do right things at the right time, because they blame us later. Sir, you promised this, that, and because see, I did not tell you, okay, you can apply, get internships, do this Cora project. For example, I mean, okay, you took your own initiatives rather than me telling all these things, and people will blame me later. Oh, he told so many things, I got nothing. So that's why I don't want to commit or promise.
You cannot promise this. It's like if there is, we were like almost 150 people in the faculty, of which only 20 people got selected to go there. And there were multiple opportunities like this. As long as you're dedicated and you're putting your 100% towards it, the opportunities are always there. So,
you are dedicated towards the task and you're focused, all the doors will open, brother. But if you are lazy and if you sit and keep complaining, lifelong sit and keep complaining, that's it. You are done and dusted. And that's the whole idea, Lashiva. I call you, I request you to do this interview, and young minds watching this interview, how much clarity they will get. And so many comments I get, school children's watching these interviews. Amazing, right? Imagine, when we talk about carbon fiber, the guy listens to carbon fiber, he at least will ask ChatGPT, right? What is carbon fiber? Which is a success for you and as well as for me doing this interview. By the way, you already mentioned 2-3 times about carbon fiber. So carbon fiber is like a material for the car bodies, which is like high strength with lesser weight, something like that?
Yes, it is like, it is not just for the car bodies anymore. Carbon fiber is used everywhere, even in medical fields and everything. It's technically nothing but a textile. It's a carbon textile, which is sandwiched with a lot of epoxies. So it's going to be like, let's say, many times lighter than steel, but it's going to be many times stronger than steel. So you're going to use a lighter component, but it's going to be stronger. So, for example, most of the car bodies nowadays, they are completely ditching out steel and switching to carbon fiber, because you can shed 200-300 kilos on a car, but at the same time, it's going to be stronger. But only downside of carbon fiber, it's very expensive, because you need some curing ovens and things like this. Because the manufacturing process, how it works is like you need to prepare a mold. It's like a fabric. You put the fabric, epoxy fabric. It's like a sandwich, and the sandwich has to go into a vacuum oven where you cure it. So depending upon how big the component is, the bigger the oven you need. And modern days, the ovens are insanely big. Even aircrafts are being made with carbon fiber, like the Airbus A350 and things like this. So it's a very wonderful material, magical material.
Wonderful. And you said it in a very beautiful way when you compare it with steel, okay, which will people will easily understand. See, this is how we explain technology. We can explain with complicated terminologies, okay, chemical formula, this, that is not required for the audience. They will go to the search themselves, what is what. But I feel, Shiva, going forward, the cost of production for carbon fiber will become less, and many will start using into their day-to-day applications. Same like
because now the technology is coming, like they are the most expensive part of carbon fiber manufacturing is the curing oven.
Okay.
And now there is a technology where you don't need the oven for curing at all. So once this technology is implemented, the price of carbon fiber will go like completely half.
Wow. So then we can start using in the cars. I mean, we ditch the steel.
I think it's still a long way to go, because, for example, let's say a common mirror which you use for your car might cost you like 5,000 rupees. Let's say a car like Lamborghini or Aventador uses carbon fiber for that, and that will cost you like around 1.5 lakhs.
Okay.
So it's big there. Even if you're going to bring the production cost down, it's still going to cost you 50,000 instead of 5,000. So it's still a long way then. Only when the necessity is there, they'll use carbon fiber. But on a day-to-day level, I don't think it's going to be
applicable. At least in the near future. At least in the near future.
Not in the future. But you don't know the technologies. There might be completely different component than carbon fiber, which is even stronger and cheaper. So some bright minds watching the video can create it.
Sure, why not? So then, when did you start your first internship?
My first internship was with TUKE. It was a remote internship because I was there is always some problems with the visas now and then. So I was getting an internship from TUKE in third semester, and unfortunately I could not visit the industry here because I was in Slovakia and TUKE is in Czech Republic. So it was completely a remote kind of process where they'll give me some projects, they'll give me some information, and I'll support them remotely. So during my third semester, I had this opportunity. And alternatively, I also had some information from Skoda. During this visit through the Skoda factory, I get to interact with a lot of people from Skoda, giving them my ideas. They were quite impressed by it. And we were very closely working with Skoda because they wanted to develop a project called Project IN, which means Project India. Skoda was aiming on a bigger customer base in India. So their idea was to have a big engineering group in Czechoslovakia where they will develop all the products, train all the engineers. And these engineers from Czech Republic, Nada Boleslav, will fly all the way to India, Pune, and train the engineers out there and take care of the production line.
Wow.
So I was
amazing. Excellent.
I was this close. I even had an offer from them that I'll be working in Czech, and every 6 months I'll be flying to Pune back. And then the opportunity was beautiful. If not for COVID, I would be doing that.
Doing that. Wonderful. Excellent. And then what was your final year project? Where did you do that?
That's a wonderful thing because it was completely supported by the university. I was doing a project called Project on Extraction Molding. It is a software-based project where I'll create a catalytic converter. It was also suggested by the professor himself because my bachelor project was based on a catalytic converter where I was using some paste-changing materials to keep the catalytic converter on the optimal temperature so that the emissions are less. So he said, since you already have a project on catalytic converter on a bachelor degree, do the similar kind of project on your master degree so that your portfolio is built for your future. So this kind of advice was really important because back then I was searching everywhere, and this idea was really good for me. So I did manufacturing. Whatever I did theoretically on my bachelor's, I tried to make it practical on my master's. So I designed the components which has to be done on a software, which was sponsored by the university itself. That's another good thing which I want to tell you guys. Autodesk Inventors, CATIAs, these are like expensive softwares which is being used in the industry. When I was practicing these softwares in Chennai, I used to use the cracked versions. But when you come to universities there, they'll give you a university account and you have access to all these softwares free of cost. So my project was based on this software itself. I used, I don't remember exactly, I think Autodesk Inventor or something. And I designed these components and they have an extraction machine. This extraction machine is where you mold these sheet metals to manufacture the component. This machine was readily available in the university, and I was able to use it to prepare all the components for my project.
Wonderful, man. Excellent. So then, what was the title of your master thesis, by the way?
It is just like designing and manufacturing of paste change catalytic converter.
Excellent. So then, when did you start your job search?
Job search, as I said, like I was doing an internship already during my third semester. So by the end of third semester, there was a long interview process with my company, TUKE. And even before I gave my final exam for my master's, I had the job offer in hand.
It's like a dream come true, right? It's like
more to be more clear, like I did not have one offer. I had two offers, one from Skoda and one from TUKE. And it was up to me to select which one I want to do. But eventually, because of COVID, Skoda's strategy changed completely. So I ended up in TUKE.
Okay. A good problem to have, right? Which one to choose?
Yeah, I was confused what to take. And then, okay, now I have
Excellent. So those people, whoever asks me, sir, why Slovakia? Why Hungary? Why Czech Republic? Why Sweden? Why Netherlands? Then I can show this interview. Please. Why we promote certain countries, there is a reason. That is why. Yes.
I would like to add a few things about this. Like a lot of people are not well educated about places like Czech and Slovakia. It's not a bad place to be. There is no bad place as long as you're in the right university and with right people. There are beautiful universities in Czech and Slovakia which can train you as good as a German or a UK university.
Exactly.
If you're going to a German or UK university, definitely on the day one after you get out of the university, if you are able to find a job, the salaries are going to be big. The salaries are not that big in Czechoslovakia, but the opportunities are good. The education level is good, and you can have a better quality of life than Germany or UK for that state. The taxes are low here. So the quality of life is equally good. So it's not at all a bad country to be.
Excellent. Amazing. So when did you shift your job from KICKET to the company that you're working right now?
I was working in KICKET for almost 3 years. It was a beautiful experience because I was the only Indian there. It had like almost 6,000 people, including the production, and 2,000 engineers. And of those 2,000 engineers, I was the one and only Indian. So everybody knew me, and I have to live up to their expectations. I had a wonderful boss. His name is Radek Masal, and he was such a good mentor. There was a lot of things which I was able to learn from them in terms of mechanical testing. I was a testing engineer there. I was testing automotive locks on climatic chambers and their life cycles and things like this. So it was a beautiful time in KICKET. And then there's always some life needs. So from there, I was trying to improve my life. So I was looking for some options, and I got some offers in 3, 4 companies, and then I shortlisted Value. Yeah, I was a pure mechanical engineer. I was dealing with all the mechanical stuffs and things like this, and I just wanted to diversify my portfolio and career. And Value looked as a very good opportunity because all the components which they are working on are futuristic components, and it has a lot of mechatronics involved. For example, just to name few components which they are designing, it's like front cameras, radars, lidars, ECU components, and things like this, which is purely focused on future of automotive engineering. So getting into these ADAS technologies, for ADAS is automated driving technologies, was something which I was looking for to develop my career as such. So I ended up in Value in Prague.
Wonderful. In my 40 minutes, almost 45 minutes interview, what I guess is more than the curriculum and all those things, but you did a lot of self-learning, I guess, right? You
Definitely.
took up some topics and you studied on your own, outside the syllabus. During your study time also, I guess.
Yeah, that is the most important thing, because if you are going to KICKET, whatever you're going to study in your master's or bachelor's, that's not going to help you 100% in what the company is all about. So whatever companies you're going to apply, you're aiming for, you need to know what their expectations are and start training yourself on those topics. So that's quite important.
So in Czech, so you're working for the past how many years now? 4, 5?
It's going to be 5 years almost.
Okay, then you will apply for your citizenship or etc. etc.
In Czech, it's like PR after 5 years. You just need to clear your language exam and you have a PR in 5 years. And after 10 years, you can apply for your passport.
Okay, but those are our straightforward processes, which keeps changing a little bit here and there. So we don't have to bother much. As long as we have a job and keep paying taxes, they welcome us to stay there. Wonderful. Excellent.
And that's a good point as well, because in Germany or in UK, there are a lot of expats and a lot of overcrowding happening. So the government doesn't like you being there. So they're trying everything in their power to make sure you're not comfortable or you move back to your family. But here, like, the population wants some expats. Without expats, I don't think half of the companies in Prague will be surviving. Just to give you an overview, the Valeo headquarters where I'm working, there's multiple units spread all across. And I'm working in the R&D center where there are 800 people, of which 450 are expats and 120 are Indians. So this is the kind of culture we have. There's always people to look up to, and the country needs so much of expats to keep running.
And in discussion with the university, we are about to start a program where they study for 3 years and they do 1 year internship in a top automobile company. We are about to launch that program. We're waiting for official confirmation. This is at the UG level.
Okay.
Basically. So we kind of try to innovate, and we are also working on a project where students will come for 1 semester. Those who are studying bachelor's in India, they will come to universities in Europe for 1 semester. So basically to get the feel of it. So we are working on all these projects. So 2026 is more exciting for us because we are trying new things, basically. That's how it is.
That's perfect.
So then,
more like Erasmus.
More like an Erasmus, yes. So you are so busy in learning and doing all these technologies, innovation, research. So other than that, how do you balance, meaning your extracurricular activities, you do something to cool off your mind?
Yeah, of course.
Your processor, your internal processor to cool off?
Yeah, there is always options. Like, you are located in the right center of Europe, being in Prague. So there's always opportunities to travel everywhere you want. I've been to like 30 countries now, and
Wow.
traveling gives me all the calmness and peace I need. So I'm with my wife here, so we both enjoy traveling. We move across
Super.
different places, having a Schengen visa, having access to 26 countries. It's
Amazing,
just,
right?
yes.
If somebody who missed the opportunity of doing masters and after their mechanical or chemical civil and end up in IT, I think when they see this interview, they're going to be really jealous
Yes.
of what you're doing and what you're exposed to. Because Shiva packed his bags without much expectations with just one thing, let me explore. I think
Yes.
that's the reason to the place where you are right now and how you have
Yeah.
placed your career. And I feel with all your rich experience, your graph is only looking upwards from here.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to the core engineering, somebody cannot outgrow a person who is like 7-8 years into the industry. His experience is way more compared to a person just passing out. Excellent.
Yeah.
Super. So how happy your parents are right now, looking at all your journey from the point you decided to study in Europe till now? How happy they are?
I think they are quite happy. Like, I ended up in a very successful career as of now. They just, of course, miss me being far away from them, but that's the part and particles of things you're doing. They are definitely happy with the decision.
So your wife also started liking Czech Republic, Prague?
Yeah, she
course,
is
right?
liking it more than I do. So that's the hard part.
Excellent. Because Prague is the second most happening city in the entire Europe, followed by Paris. Meaning Paris, then Prague, then Budapest.
Yes, you can say that. Like, it's buzzing with tourists during summer, and it's not just Prague. People often say it's like just the Prague. That's what the tourists see, but the entire country is so beautiful. Once you get chances to live here, there's a lot of things to explore outside Prague also. Such a beautiful country by itself.
Excellent and amazing. And if I don't ask this question, parents will be slightly angry on me. So what was the approximate in Indian money, the tuition fees that you spent during your masters, approximately, if you could remember? And also when you were a student in Slovak, what was your monthly living expenses during your master time? Not right now. Right now you're earning, you will be spending more. During your study time, I mean. Yeah. Approximately,
I can give you my figures, but it's going to be very irrelevant to the current situation, because I was paying like 3,500 euros, around like 3,20,000 per year for my tuition. And my monthly living expense was like almost 200 euros for the university, like 18,000 for the university accommodation dormitory, and another 20,000 for the food and living expenses. So let's say maximum 50,000 for the living per month.
Wonderful. Just for a idea, basically. So then, before we conclude this interview, anything that you would like to tell people, especially those young minds who are trying to venture into automobile or mechanical, some words from you, especially as an youngster and also into this domain for the past 5-6 years, successfully moving forward, some points for them to look upon?
First of all, like, for people who want to come here to study, don't be very focused that you have to be in the most best countries possible, like Netherlands or Germany. Any country where you get into, if the university is good, if you take the right choice of courses, you're going to excel, no matter which country you're studying from. So don't worry about coming to Czechoslovakia or anywhere. So as soon as you end up here, it is very important that you focus your time on education and things like that. Yes, you're being to a very good country where you can lash out, do all the fun and activity. Do the fun during the weekends, focus on the weekdays on your curriculum. If you balance both of these, you're going to excel definitely. Good play and good work will always give you some good improvement in your careers. And talking about automotive industry, don't worry about what people say. People might say, okay, automotive industry is good, automotive industry is not good right now. This, let's say, mechanical engineering is going bad, electronics is doing good, robotics is good, AI is good. Don't worry about that. If AI is good, and if you don't have the love to learn AI, you're not going to excel in it. But if you're really good on electronics, don't worry about the industry. There is always need for someone somewhere. So do whatever you are good at, and then eventually you will end up in a very good company where you will be like the number one of that technology. So focus on what you love, try to develop your skills on one thing, and then you can end up in a very good place where you can do some wonders. That's basically.
You must be 26, 27 right now, approximately.
28.
28. Okay. The level of clarity, the what to say, the pinpointness in what you wanted to say, really amazing. Because I've done plenty of interviews. Of course, excellent students I've met, but you were very clear, what you wanted to tell the young minds, especially this question was really amazing. And that's what I also tell people. Nowadays, brother, all colleges studying only AI, artificial intelligence, data science, data analytics, machine learning, cyber security. For example, the automobile, mechatronics, mechanical are in the 18th, 19th, 20th course. It's not even their priority. Just for the sake of running it, they're running it. That's how it is. And many colleges do not have these courses, brother.
That's how it is, because when I joined my bachelor degree, it is always computer science, IT, electrical, and mechanical. No other courses. Yes. When I said I want to join automobile, there were like 2 or 3 universities which was offering it. And then there was all of a sudden, everybody wants to do automobile and aeronautics. And then it got vanished. Now it's all AI. So it will keep evolving.
Exactly. But the problem here, 95% of college students, studying only these courses now.
Okay.
It's not even like, you are comparing 40, 50 versus 1,000. That's the difference. Which, it's unimaginable, and they are going to only collapse the supply and demand system.
Exactly.
Exactly. Anything, whether it's a phone or a watch, everything works on a simple economic model, supply and demand. What is the demand? What is the supply? Then comes the financial aspects. Wonderful, Shiva. Thank you so much. I learned a lot of things, right from carbon fiber to, all these other technologies that you have specified. I'm sure any mechanical young aspirant watching this interview would have been really, benefited. And I'm sure Shiva will be very happy. Even if one student get inspired out of this interview, you would have spent almost 1 hour with us. I'm sure you will also be very happy that it was useful for him.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shiva. Convey our regards to your wife as well as your family members. Best wishes. And I'm sure, Shiva, when after 10 years, we'll do a part 2 of what all technology and innovation you have been contributing to. Not right now. We'll not disturb you again. We will leave you alone for the next 10 years. Then we will do a part 2 of this. Whenever time permits. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shiva. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.